How can the president lead when barely a third trusts his ability to make the right decisions?
John, I think what we saw last year in 2013 was a Washington that did not deliver for the American people. And the president sees this as a year of action, to work with Congress where he can and to bypass Congress where necessary to lift folks who want to come up into the middle class.
So if you look at last year's State of the Union address, the president made some specific promises. Raise the minimum wage.
Raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour.
Immigration reform.
The time has come to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
Background checks for gun purchases.
Background checks that will make it harder for criminals to get their hands on a gun.
None of that happened. Isn't this year only going to be harder?
Those were calls for action that involved Congress. The president's very disappointed that the Senate failed to heed the will of the vast majority of the American people when it came to expanding background checks. On immigration reform, we're actually optimistic that 2014 will be the year that Congress delivers to the president's desk a bipartisan, comprehensive immigration reform bill that meets the principles he laid out and that he can sign into law.
But it's what the president has already signed into law.
We are done.
The signature achievement, health care reform, that's shaping up to be the biggest headache for Democrats in 2014. Our poll shows 59% disapprove of how Obamacare has been implemented. And conservative groups are blasting Democratic candidates over Obamacare.
Obamacare doesn't work.
Will it have been worth it if you lose the Senate? I mean, you already lost the House because of the health care law.
I'll tell you what.
Will it have been worth it politically?
Expanding access to quality and affordable health insurance to millions of Americans, reducing the growth in health care costs, which is happening.
Would it have been worth it if you lose the Senate? That's a simple...
This is not about politics. So the answer is, it is absolutely worth it, no matter what happens
even if you
politically.
lose the Senate.
Because what, and I tell you, and I just disagree that Republicans are going to have a winning issue on this if they decide to run on it, because they got to explain what repeal means.
In the State of the Union Tuesday,